Did Muhammad meet the biblical criteria of a true prophet? Once we understand how the Bible tests a prophet, a natural follow-up question arises. Did Muhammad meet those biblical criteria? This question is not about personal sincerity or religious devotion, it is about standards. If someone claims continuity with the biblical prophets, then the biblical tests must apply. Let us briefly recall those tests. Doctrinal consistency with prior revelation. Accuracy of prophecy. Moral credibility consistent with God's character. Divine confirmation that does not contradict earlier revelation. Now let us examine the claim carefully. 1. Doctrinal consistency with prior revelation. The biblical prophets taught. God entered covenants with Israel. God revealed his name. God worked through a redemptive plan centered on covenant and, in Christian belief, fulfilled in Jesus. Muhammad's message, however, denies core biblical teachings. He rejects God as Father. He denies Jesus' crucifixion. He rejects Jesus' divine authority. He redefines covenant identity and salvation. These are not minor disagreements. By the Bible's own standard, a prophet who contradicts foundational revelation fails the test, regardless of timing or influence. Point 2. Predictive accuracy. Deuteronomy 18 states that if a prophet speaks in God's name and what he says does not come to pass, that prophet has not spoken from God. Islamic tradition records several prophetic statements attributed to Muhammad, some of which are nonspecific, making them difficult to test. Others, however, are concrete and debated. The issue is not whether some statements seem to align with later events, but whether all prophetic claims meet the standard of unfailing accuracy. Biblically, the standard is absolute. One failure is sufficient to disqualify. The Bible does not allow partial accuracy or reinterpretation after the fact as acceptable prophecy. Point 3. Moral credibility. Biblical prophets were not sinless, but they were consistently called to repentance, humility, and moral accountability. They did not justify actions by appealing to personal revelation that exempted them from ethical standards. In contrast, Islamic sources record moments where Muhammad's authority is used to validate personal decisions through revelation. Whether one accepts these accounts or not, the biblical standard requires that a prophet's life clearly reflect the moral consistency of the God he claims to represent. The issue here is not comparison or insult, it is alignment with the biblical model of prophetic integrity. 4. Divine confirmation without contradiction. Biblical prophets were confirmed by God within the framework of existing revelation. They did not appear centuries later to announce that all previous revelation was corrupted, misunderstood, or superseded.